Hey guys, welcome back to the Adventure Channel. So we're over in Biloxi, Mississippi. We're actually at the Majestic Oaks RV Resort here in Biloxi. We're going to be here for a few days, and the main reason why we came over here for this is not far from the house, less than 2 hours. Abby's parents just invested in a new fifth wheel. It's a 40-foot fifth wheel camper, and they wanted to kind of pull it out somewhere close to home, a shakedown run, check it out, you know, all that good stuff. So they wanted to come over here and camp, and we decided to come over here with them. And took a couple days off from the shop from doing some machining, but I've actually brought my I got my laptop. I got some editing that I'm going to do while I'm set up here. So in a little while I'm going to set up my table out here and actually get some video editing done for the channel. But anyway, I thought that one of the things that I could do is a couple follow-ups, talk about a couple of things regarding the chocks and the tires, maybe some of the tools that I use, and then also, of course, you know, I'll get some video of the RV park here, so because I know we're always curious of what it looks like here. I've got the mount on the monkey. I'll put the camera on there and we'll just take a little spin around so you can see what it looks like here. And then of course, if we get anything fun, I'll make sure to grab the camera and show you. Biloxi is a really nice area right here on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Of course, it's known for its casinos. There's a bunch of casinos right down the road, but you can also come here for a lot of other things as well. It's just a nice little place in the south. In fact, I just had a conversation with a gentleman. He saw me over here filming and he came up and was talking to me. They're from the northern part of Michigan, and he's retired, and he says they like to come down here for 6 months out of the year. Very common thing about the south is when you come to these RV parks and state parks, a lot of people that's here are from the north and they get away from the winters. So anyway, I want to talk about a couple of things, and we're going to go back to our tires and our chocks. Now, I do have a video that I just released on the brand new Goodyear Endurance tires, and so far really happy with these. I have a lot more peace of mind knowing that I have some high quality tires on the travel trailer here, and hopefully that's going to eliminate any kind of possible blowout. I know that's not going to completely prevent it, but I just feel better about a nice quality tire. So we got all the puppies walking around making the noise. I wanted to mention the chocks. Okay, I use these Bow X chocks on our camper. These work really good to help prevent any kind of rotation of the axles here when you're walking around in the camper. You know, the camper is going to try to move a little bit. So I feel these are a superior chock to the ones that just wedge in under the tire. And one of the things that I wanted to point out was that when you first get set up and you unhook and everything, you know, you want to set your chocks up, but you're going to have to come back to these things and check them after your tires cool down. Usually when you're set up, you've been on the road, these things are going to be warm and they're going to shrink as they cool down. So I wanted to show you this right here. You see how I can move that? Now that's just how that was after getting set up. This is actually the next day, and this morning I told Abby, I said, I can tell that the camper's moving slightly, and I know I got to readjust the chocks. So I went to the other side, and it was actually slightly more loose than this one right there. You could actually wiggle a little bit. So I've already got that one tightened up. So we're going to snug this one up right here. Just one of the things that you want to check whenever you get set up, just come back to your chocks, make the adjustment on them as you need, and this will help prevent any of your movement in the axles there. All right, this is the next item that I want to talk about that I keep on me. Now I got this last year and I absolutely love it. This is a battery powered DeWalt air compressor. You can run it on the 20-volt batteries there, and you can also plug it in. It's got the cord right here where you can plug it into the cigarette lighter in your vehicle in case you don't have battery power for it. You can also use it to inflate. You know, if you've got maybe a pool float or a ball, you've got all the attachments here, and you got the little you know, the hose so that you can inflate. But what I mainly use it for is to make sure that I have an air compressor on board in case I need to inflate a tire. In this case, you know, the trailer tires. And I really love it. So you turn this thing on and you hook it up to the tire. We'll do that. We'll hook it up down there, and you adjust it right here to the PSI that you want the tire to be at, and you hit go, and it'll start inflating, and it shuts off whenever it's reached to the pressure that you want to set at. You've also got a light. This works really good at night. You just hit that little headlight and you have this LED, and when you set it down here by your tire at nighttime when it's dark, it actually lights all this up. Works really good. So let's get this thing hooked up to the tire. We'll check and see what this is at. The guys at the tire store said that they inflated it to 80, and I want to go ahead and do a check. All right, just take the hose, just screw it into your valve stem there, and you look at it. All right, it says we're at 76.7. So you just rotate this bezel here up to the pressure that you want your tire to be at. Let's go to let's just go to 78. All right, and then you hit go. And we'll start inflating there. There we go. Shut off at 78. Go ahead and unscrew the stem and put the cap back on. All right, there we go. So we'll move over here and check that one now. All right, we got this one hooked up now, and it was showing basically the same pressure. So I just left it on, let it set at 78, and we'll turn it on. Okay. I already checked the other side, so they were at the same pressure as these right there. So we've just got all four of them now pumped to an even 78 psi. But I just wanted to show this. You don't have to get a DeWalt. I'm just showing the one that I have, but I do really like this unit. All of my tools that I have now, all the cordless, are the DeWalt, so my batteries interchange with everything that I have. Go ahead and shut this off. It'll shut itself off after a certain amount of time. And just wrap the cord back up, and there you go. So I keep it up here in the cargo area, and see, I'll show you my other stuff. This is the drill that I use right here with the 3/4 socket. This is what I use to adjust the stabilizers there. All right, there's another tool that I carry with me now, and this is the 1/2-inch drive impact. Uses the same batteries, the 20-volt max. I know a lot of guys that have these and have used them, and they say that it is just a game changer. You don't have to worry about bringing wrenches. Now I do keep my 4-way on here as a backup, but now that I got this, so I've got the battery powered impact, and I plan on getting a dedicated set of sockets to keep in here, but for now I've actually got the 2 sockets that I need. I keep this one with it. We got the 3/4 inch for this wheel, and then for whatever reason the spare lugs for the spare tire are a 13/16, or I use 21 millimeter right here because I wasn't really using this for anything else. So this one is for the spare, this one's for the actual tires here. So just keeping this in the bag, and like I said, I'm going to get a set of impact sockets to keep in this bag right there. So a couple of the tools that I keep on hand. I've got a let me pull this one out. This is my tool bag, and I keep this on hand too. All right, let me open it up right here. And I just keep a variety of different types of hand tools of all kinds. I've even got a battery charger in there for the DeWalt batteries. I got tape measures, we got electrical connections there, pliers, screwdrivers. I did have, this is another light that somebody gave me for Christmas there. I've just got a lot of different types of supplies, because you just never know what you're going to run into. I've got hammers in there, I got some pry bars, just all kind of different things, some knives. I usually have my Gorilla Tape in there, and I forgot I used it for something else and didn't put it back, so I got to get me another Gorilla Tape for there. So just keep you a basic toolkit on your rig. You just never know what kind of tool you're going to need or what you're going to have to work on. Make sure you keep some zip ties in there, some duct tape or Gorilla Tape, and you should be good for any kind of repair that you might get into. All right, there's the other side. I keep a couple storage bins with all the other little supplies. So here's my other DeWalt stuff. I've got the Bluetooth radio. Takes the same 20-volt batteries, and I also bring this with me. This is one of my favorite tools here. This is the blower, and it uses the 60-volt batteries, but I use it. I use this at home, the shop, and when we go somewhere, I always bring it with me, because a lot of times you come out to these RV sites and they got leaves all over them, so I like keeping it blowed off. So that's one of the things that I keep with me there as well. I've also got a set of these blocks for the level, you know, for the stabilizers if you need some blocks. Got that set in there. I think that's about it. I've got this set of this is what you use when you want to if you've got to adjust the level of your camper from side to side. So this is a full set of 2. You only need them from one side. It's also got the chalks that go in on the other side of the tire once you get it set. But basically what you do with these, if you've got to raise one side up, stick them in like this, put one over there, and then you would either pull forward or back up this taper, and it'll raise the camper that side. All right, so I've got these. I actually haven't had to use them yet, but there will be a place where you're gonna have to use those somewhere, because not every camping spot you go to is gonna be nice and flat and level. All right, this is the first trip out using the Monkey, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, riding around the park so far. Here's the first shot that I'm actually giving you of the RV park. That's the Abby's parents' new rig. We'll go walk around that so you can see it. Yeah, pretty nice little place. That's going to be fun to have to ride around. But it's a decent little park. They are tight. They are kind of tight getting in here. You're a little close to each other, but a lot of these parks, that's how it is. I did make the modification on the bike rack that I mentioned in a previous video, and you can see we're getting pretty close to the top of the bag here, and I've got the motorcycle ramp that I had put on top. Like I said, I can go down about another 3 to 4 inches if I wanted to with that bracket that I fabricated, but it's working out real well. And then we also added this guy right here. This is our new US map that we added, and whenever we go to another state to do our camping, we can add us a sticker to say that we've been there. So far, these are the states that we have actually camped at with our camper. So wherever we travel to, we've actually got some plans to kind of come up this way. So we're going to be able to add quite a few of these here later in the year. Well, since the weather's nice, how about I go ahead and mount the camera over on the Monkey, and I'll take a ride around the park right here and show you what it looks like. All right. to come over here and show you guys Lori and Steve's new fifth wheel. So this is their brand new rig, the Volante. It is a 40-foot. Of course, it's the fifth wheel. And Steve also upgraded to a new 3/4 ton Ram like mine as well, so that he could so they could upgrade. A beautiful camper. And as they were looking, they were actually looking at pull-through campers, I mean bumper pull campers. They weren't planning on getting a fifth wheel, but they ended up finding this particular model right here, this layout, and the way that it's laid out, they really love it. They have a king-size bed right here, like a king-size bedroom, and then the bathroom is all in the back. It's a nice full bathroom that goes across the whole thing. The kitchen is in the middle section here. This is the dinette set. And then in the front, you have two slide outs on the front here. This whole front section is the actual living room. Really cool. You have a couch on each side, and then you have captain's chairs there with a TV in the very front. So they really love that setup of having the living room there that they can relax in. And then if they have guests, like if we're hanging out, we've got a place to hang out with them. But they're gonna end up doing more traveling than they are now. Steve actually travels quite a bit for their business. He has to go and he has to do interviews with other people in the animal health business. So they're gonna plan on using their new hauling rig. You know, they got the new Ram and the new camper, and they're going to start doing more travel and being out on the road more often because they really do like it. They spent the past year with the Kodiak that's just basically, it was the same size as ours, and they traded that one in, but they really love that, but they wanted to upgrade to something with more room, and this is what they went with right here, the Volante, 40-foot Volante. It's quite an upgrade, but Steve's loving it. They both love it. This is their first time out, so they're just kind of doing the shakedown with it, and I think they're really going to enjoy it. They said they slept real good last night and love the living room and got plenty of room to spread their wings with this guy. I was going to mention something I forgot in the last clip there. So Steve and I went over and had some lunch today at this place that it's called the Project Lounge, and it's actually right here in the neighborhood. It's just a few blocks over. And I found out about that place a while back whenever we were hanging out at the Pearl, playing some cards, and I remember there was a couple women that was there at the table talking with us. We got talking about food, and anyway, they were locals, and they asked if we had tried the Project Lounge yet. They have the best burgers around, and I said no, we've never been there. So ever since that, I've always wanted to go and try the Project Lounge. So I found that it was just right down the road, you know, whenever we scheduled to come here. So today, Steve and I went over there. I remember looking it up on Google. It's like one of those old school type bars, lounges. It's not that big, and it's really dark inside. And all the reviews says they have the best cheeseburgers and the best steak sandwiches, all that kind of stuff. So we went over today, and I will say we really enjoyed it. As soon as we walked in there, it looked like it was pitch black because our eyes had to adjust to the darkness in there. But once our eyes adjusted, I mean, it was great. We sat at the bar, got the old school bar stools there, got a place to put your feet, you know, beer, liquor. But we sat there, we had a couple of beers, and then Steve ordered the cheeseburger. He said it was fantastic. I had the ribeye steak sandwich and ate about half of it. It's about all I can handle, and it was great. So I just wanted to say we really enjoyed that place, and if you ever get a chance, if you're in Biloxi, you want a good burger or sit down for a beer in an old school quiet lounge type setting, go check out the Project Lounge. It's a neat place. All right guys, it's the next day, and we went over to Camping World here in Biloxi after we got some breakfast. I wanted to pick up a couple of supplies. So whenever we came over and we got hooked everything up, I realized that I could not find my water pressure regulator valve. And evidently, whenever we left Destin, I probably drove off and left it screwed onto the spigot and totally forgot to take it off and put it back in my supply box. So luckily, whenever we got here, got set up, Steve had pulled in right behind us. I asked him, did he have an extra water pressure regulator, and he did. He's got a spare on his camper, so he let me borrow his spare, and then we went over today and I went ahead and picked up two, so I can give Steve back his spare, and then I'm going to keep an extra one in my toolkit. All right, that was something that just happened, so I figured, you know, let you guys know about it, because this is something to consider, just having a spare. Also got these hose washers. These go in the connection where you screw in your water hose for your fresh water or your clean out. These go in right there. And when we went camping over in Carabel, same kind of situation happened. I went to screw the water hose in where the water filter goes, and it kept leaking. So I unscrewed it, took it out, and then I realized that the washer was missing, so it wouldn't seal up. Luckily, Fernando, he's got a little kit that he keeps with him, and he's got all these different little spare parts in their camper there as well. So I was able to get one of them from Fernando. So I wanted to go ahead and pick up a kit, and I'm going to keep in my little toolkit there as well. So I'll show you where these things go. All right. Water pressure regulator valve, just in case we got anybody new that's just trying to figure this out. So anytime you hook your water line up, this is my water line here, go into the camper there. So always have a water pressure regulator valve, and that's going to reduce the pressure to the proper pressure needed, so you don't blow a water line in your camper. All right. And the washers, I'll show you where those go here. You got the washers, they're going to go in these water hose connections here. This is our clean out. We have a water clean out for the black tank. All right, and then this is where the fresh water goes. See the water connection right up in here is where the washer there goes. All right, I'll show you. Pop the cap off, you can see the screen right there. That's just a little rubber washer with the screen. So get you a little pack of these wherever, keep them in your toolkit, and maybe keep you an extra one of these on board there as well, just in case you do like I did and drive off and forget it, and you get to your next camp spot. You may be out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a Walmart or a camping store nearby to get one of these things. So just little things to consider for your camper and your RV. All right. Well, we're rolling out of Biloxi. We just left the RV park, and we're down here on the beach road. I wanted to stop along. They got several beaches along the main beach highway here that you can pull off, and it's right now it's not really crowded at all. There hasn't been many people out here, so I figured I could pull off and get a shot of what the beaches look like here in Biloxi. They've experienced a lot of storm damage the last 10 years, but they've done a really good job of kind of rejuvenating the beaches and the development here, and it looks really nice down here. So the weather's been kind of bad the last few days. We've had a lot of rain and clouds, and you can see that it's kind of overcast, but we're just going to give you a couple shots of the beach before we head out of here to kind of close out the video.
You know, I was pointing to him that it showed the high water mark for Camille, but look, there's Katrina back there. I didn't even see it. But...
All right, well, let's go show them that. They got this is a pavilion right here, just a public beach pavilion. So let's look at the watermark. So Camille, I believe, was 1965, well before my time, and that was I believe the first Category 5 hurricane to ever hit the Gulf Coast. Hurricane Camille, high water mark 19.5 foot. Wow.
But then above that,
yeah, so let's go up there and check that one out. That one would be for Katrina that hit in 2005. I believe it was 2005. Either, yeah, 2005, because I think 2004 was when we got Hurricane Aaron through Pensacola. Yep, Hurricane Katrina, 23 foot. Wow. So look how high we are. That's why a lot of the on the other side of the main beach road all the way down, you don't see a whole lot of structure there on that side now. There is some. They're starting to rebuild, just like right there you got the new Holiday Inn, and you see that along the coast, but a lot of it is still open land. A nice view here.
yeah.
we stopped off at one of the other pull-offs here just to kind of check it out. We've never actually been to any of these little beaches here, so we wanted to check it out. Pretty cool. We got a couple down there. They're doing some metal detecting. This looks like a fire pit area.
It is. It's awesome.
Bonfire pits reserved in advance. Pretty neat. They've got the beaches nice and raked, clean. That's pretty cool that they provide you a nice little fire pit area.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's, I mean, we're in Biloxi, but that's where the casinos start, right down there, where that high rise is. So this is where our Biloxi adventure is going to end, right about here on the beach. Figured we'd go ahead and give you some closing thoughts to some of the other things that we experienced while we were here. We'll start off with the really good stuff. I want to give a mention to the restaurant called White Pillars. We went there last night for dinner. It was a local restaurant, really close to the campground there, and it's more of a upscale type restaurant, Southern flair. And I followed them on Instagram and have for a while, and that was our first time going there, and we really loved it.
It was incredible. It
was a really nice meal. We loved that the dining room that we were in, you could actually see into the kitchen and see all of the chefs, you know, doing their thing, preparing the meals. And the food was excellent. Even though it was a little bit more upscale restaurant, I don't think that the food was like too overpriced.
No.
I mean, most of them average about $30. And everybody there was very friendly. It's a very elegant looking place. So if you're in Biloxi, go by and check out White Pillars restaurant if you're looking for a really nice, you know, chef prepared meal.
And it's farm to table, and they try to get all their ingredients within 50 miles of this location.
Yep.
They know where everything is coming from. It's amazing. It was really a great meal.
The owners, and one of the owners is a chef and his wife there, they lease 50 acres of farmland not far from here, and that's where they lease it and grow all the vegetables just for their restaurant. And he has specific sources where he brings in the poultry, the pork, and the beef, and the duck. I believe he says the duck comes from like New Jersey.
I believe so.
But he's got specific places he brings the food in.
The Brussels sprout Caesar salad.
Yep.
Was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life.
It was excellent.
I'm not even a huge Brussels sprout fan. It was so good.
Everybody that worked there told us that the Brussels sprout Caesar was their favorite as well. It's a really good salad. So a good place to go. So be sure to go and check them out if you're looking for a really good restaurant in Biloxi that's not attached to the casinos or, you know, places like that.
And a shout out to the guys at the bar.
Yep.
We did stay for a drink after. Awesome, cool bar.
The bar is like a I don't know, old-fashioned type bar. So they have drink recipes that go back 150, 200 years. They did this really cool thing. I saw this board over there on the bar, and I said, what is that? And he says, that's where we smoke the glasses. So they have this little trick where they take a torch and they burn the wood and they put the glass over it, and the smoke gets up in there, and it's oak barrel wood.
It was amazing.
That's pretty cool. So really nice place. So go check that out.
Yep.
And we really enjoyed our dinner there. So we also want to touch on the RV park that we were at. It's an RV resort, Majestic Oaks. So we picked that location because it seemed to be, from the photos and the reviews, that it was going to be a nice place. It's very nicely located here in Biloxi. You're only 10 minutes from the casinos if that's where you want to go, or 5 minutes down here to the beach road to go to restaurants.
Which I like.
Gated community.
Yep.
All right. So I won't say that Abby and I had any personal problems with anybody in there, but her parents got nailed a few times by some of the we call them snowbirds, because the snowbirds come down to Florida and the South, and they stay down here for months. But her parents got talked to several times very rudely by some of these snowbirds.
Which is not typical for snowbirds or for camping.
No, that's the first time we've been to a campground and was treated that way.
It made it kind of unpleasant.
It was very unnecessary and very rude, the way that some of the folks were talking to her parents.
Yes.
You know, some of it had to do because they have the dogs.
Which are very well behaved golden retrievers.
They're golden retrievers, and one of them is still a puppy. But some of the people just did not seem to like them being there with their dogs. even in the back section where it's opened up for people to have a dog area, they even have a dog run. Steve was back there letting them do their business, and before he could even finish the business, some man shouted out to him, "Are you gonna pick that up? We play ball back here." You know, it's like, give the man a chance.
It up every time.
He's
he
not.
knows how to do it.
Yeah, he knows how to, handle the business just like everybody else that goes to the campground. So they had an unpleasant time there. The snowbirds were just very rude and unpleasant to her parents. So I doubt that we will ever go back to Majestic Oaks just because of the way that they were treated there. There's plenty of other places to go and stay and camp. I would prefer campgrounds myself, like a state park. But when you're trying to get down here on the beach area and close to the city, you seek out RV parks and RV resorts. So
we're gonna try another one.
Yep,
we love Biloxi.
Yep, there's another one right down the road here.
Yep.
That we're gonna be staying this summer, and it's another RV resort. But hopefully we're gonna have a little better luck with that one. It's right across the road here, so we get a beach view. It looks like a nice place to stay.
And if you haven't been here, the casinos are great. The restaurants are great. The people are so nice.
Yeah.
Normally, the locals.
You can come. Biloxi is known as a casino town, so you can certainly come here and gamble to your heart's desire. But you can also come here and enjoy other things, such as concerts, shows, restaurants, shopping. I mean, there's all kind of restaurants here.
We love this place. We love coming here.
You can come here for the beach, and there's a lot of state parks in the surrounding area you can go and visit. So there's a lot of other stuff besides gambling that you can come down here and do.
We don't like to be negative, do we?
We don't.
I don't like it at all.
We don't, but it was to the point where I wanted to be able to say something about it so other people can know that you just gotta be mindful that some of these places you go to, they're gonna be full of the northerners that are staying down here for like 6 months. They seem to be, in there, they seem to be a little cliquey and almost look down on us like y'all don't belong here. That's kind of how I felt.
Northerners, because that's not how people treat us normally. So
No.
It was just an unpleasant experience.
It just amazes me that some people just have the outright nature to just blurt out anything that they want to at that given moment.
That is unmerited as well.
Where I think Southern people are a little more reserved that way. It's like you can handle it in a more friendly, unrude fashion. You don't just have to be, you gotta pick that up, I mean, give somebody a chance. But that wasn't the only incident. There were several incidents. There was at least 5 incidences where things were said to them that was very rude and uncalled for.
We just never had that at any campground we've ever stayed at, or any hotel we've ever stayed at.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't us, it's her family. We were all there together. So not cool with us. So we won't be back there. We'll be checking out some other place. But anyway, I think that's going to be about enough of that. Other than that, we enjoy being here in Biloxi. We've got our camper, so we really are enjoying that. Looking forward to many more trips. We've got another trip in Mississippi here next week that's going to be a work-related trip, and then we're going to have another Carabel trip in another month or so with the whole family. We're all going back to the place there in Carabel, so we're looking forward to that.
Can we go buy metal detectors, please?
Abby wants to go buy metal detectors, so
if you don't know where I am for like 3 days, that's what I'm doing.
we love metal detecting. We like watching it on TV. So
I don't think I've ever done it. I've never done it.
Yeah, well, it's something fun to do. I guess we're going to get metal detectors, so we'll see you on the next adventure. All right.